Hello and welcome to another segment of Make Love Real, how to create more love in your life. And I'm really excited to bring you someone who I've wanted to interview for a long time, and I haven't. So this is Allana Pratt, and I'm going to ask her to share a little bit about herself, and then we're going to dive into a really juicy, yummy, and probably very sexy interview and conversation. So welcome, Allana.
Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. I had no idea you wanted to interview me
I
for a long time.
have.
That's very flattering.
Yeah, I haven't done a show in 3 years, and you were on my list 3 years ago, and
Oh, look
so
at that.
yeah.
You are a
Yeah.
manifester.
I am, yay! Lovely.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to be here. Yeah, I've been an intimacy expert for it's about 20 years now. I started off, I called myself actually a sexy mom expert when I first started years ago. I
Mhm.
coached Lisa Gibbons through Dancing with the Stars.
Oh,
And that
nice.
was at a time when I had a little boy and I had lost my mojo, and when mama's happy, everybody's happy. So
Right.
I learned about these sacred sexual ways of being, this beautiful sacred energy that's inside of us. And it really brought me closer into relationships. So relationship with self, relationship with body, relationship with a beloved, and also how to have a better relationship with my son, my clients, etc. And I started to go, wait a minute, intimacy is what's really going on here. This raw, transparent, vulnerable way of putting our masks down and opening our heart in the face of anything,
Mhm.
and realizing that our worth is not outside in, it's inside out. And so that really, then I shifted it to be called like an intimacy expert. And I've got, let me see, 5 books out there and over 5 million views on the
Beautiful.
YouTube channel and lots of fun. I've been having lots of fun
Yes,
with this
yes.
message because I think it's really what we've all been seeking, even though we've been trained or raised, accomplish, achieve,
Mhm.
small but big bank account, like whatever
Right.
we might get there, but it's not enough. And there's
Mhm.
still this sense of hunger, this emptiness inside. And so this deep inner belonging, this deliciousness with not just your magnificent parts, but can I love my wobbly part just as much?
Yes,
Can I
yes.
actually unconditionally love myself instead of just seeking it from another? Can I be the vibration of it so I can attract it? So that's where I got to with my intimacy expertise, and
I
intimate
love it.
conversations is my podcast. So that's a little bit about how I got here. And I walk my talk. It's really
Mhm.
a practice for me to get up and do my morning practice. I have my own coaches and a full
Mhm.
coaching practice. I'm very vulnerable on my radio show. I like to show up as a on my podcast as a student as well as a master. And I think that allows us to be in that state of wonder and
Mhm.
open to that sexual energy, creative energy coming in us, as us, and through us, because we're not in control. If we're in control, it's just our mind and it's just a very small life. But if you really want to co-create with the universe, if you really want to have that extraordinary love making with your partner, or just making love creatively with the universe, like no sense stopping making
Yes.
love. um,
Exactly.
we need to be able to let go of control. It takes
Mhm.
a lot of courage, not strength,
Mhm.
courage from the
Yeah.
heart.
It does. I love what you're talking about because it is my work too. I just call it love work, literally. And
Yeah,
it's about healing those inner emotional wounds. It's about
yeah,
raising your emotional intelligence level
yeah,
so that so you can come as a strong, empowered being and rock and roll. And it is a daily practice, right? So basketball players, football players, ballerinas, musicians, what do they have to do? They have to practice for proficiency, for excellence, and then they add their beautiful style to it. So I love
yeah,
that. Yeah. Those who do this work internally for themselves, their life is different. Their
yeah,
life is
yeah.
different.
We are soul sisters. We get
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
exactly. Now, most people, I love this word, and I learned to recognize my love of it like 12 years ago. I love the word vulnerability. And
mm,
most people are afraid of vulnerability.
yeah,
They think it's a weakness. Will you
yeah.
talk with us on that?
Yes, and I'll even do a little tease. I have a whole 7-part training on this to take it even deeper for you. So we'll tell you about that at the end. So for me, I was raised by my father was drunk and stoned pretty much all the time. And my mom was checked out 3 steps ahead trying to keep it all together. And so I learned that I didn't feel safe. I didn't know how to find it on the inside. So I became 3 steps ahead trying to look good, do it right, not get my dad angry. And so back to the word vulnerable, I would say I was not vulnerable. I didn't know how I was feeling on the inside. I just pushed that all away, pushed it down, lived chin up, trying to stay in control and be safe and do it right. And so as soon as I started to learn what one divorce, okay, that's fine. 2 divorces. Oh, I was the only one in common. Maybe we should do some work here. So, so I started to realize there was this whole inner world. Nobody told me about that. Nobody told me I had a heart, a soul, like feelings, all of that. I was just super smart girl, Columbia, cum laude grad, like intelligent. I was just relying on my mind. And when I went inside, Mia, I didn't like what I felt and I didn't like what I saw. I was ashamed of her. I was embarrassed by how insecure I really was. I didn't like how I felt, out of control and terrified all the time. So I just pushed it down even more and, put on a even prettier mask. And so as I was like, okay, well, that's not working. And I learned how to come into wholeness, oneness, forgiveness, and transform the pain into like true courage, or the shame into acceptance, or the sadness into compassion, all of this alchemy that happened on the inside. I started to have a respect for vulnerability, because when I had my heart closed, I couldn't access my intelligence. I would go to my reptilian brain and just fight or flight or freeze and make horrible decisions. And when my heart was closed, I couldn't access, I'm pointing down, like to my intuition, my instincts. I couldn't hear, I couldn't trust myself. I couldn't trust the universe, and I was very scared. And that happened when my heart was closed. And when my heart began to heal and open again, I felt more out of control, but I also simultaneously was like, wait a minute, I can hear intelligence. I can hear divine guidance. I can hear my intuition. I'm a badass. This is really intense, but this is better. This is better. And so vulnerability, I would say, is more intense, but it's not weak. It is really strong. And you have the experience of having your own back. You have the experience of knowing what you know, and non-local intuition from the field, from the universe, and your own higher self. So you are safe when you're vulnerable. You are approved of inherently when you are vulnerable. You are connected to the universe when you are vulnerable. And it's not for the faint of heart. It's for the bold, open-hearted, and it is intense, because a lot of energy is going to run through your body that doesn't when you're stuffing your face with food and on Facebook and spinning in your head. Like maybe you don't feel those intensities, but when you're in your body, you're going to feel a lot. Right. But here's the good thing. Yes, you feel more intense challenge, but you also feel more intense pleasure. You get the whole enchilada. You
Isn't
really
that amazing?
live. Yeah.
That's the part. It's that sense of how you feel inside about everything. Again, we have different verbiage for it. I call it love. It's the connection, the deepness. And then again, your other stuff, the intimacy. It's knowing exactly who you are. You can live so much greater in those experiences. And look at today, it snowed. I've been waiting for it to snow for like 3
Where do you live? How beautiful.
We moved in September to a little island in Washington, in the Pacific
great.
Ocean. Yeah. And so I've been waiting for it to snow, but I found out that we live in the Olympic rain region, which means it snows and rains less. Okay, so here I had been waiting, and I just surrendered. It's okay, whatever happens. And I opened up the back door because it was left half open, and it was snowing. So I could appreciate it so much more. The love, the beauty, I photographed. So it's what you're saying. It's that depth of connection to our life, to who we are, and allowing it. My husband thought I was hysterical and giggling. And, he's an pretty evolved man, but I didn't care, because it's like, this is me, this is fun. And so that's the greatness, right? That's the great, the vulnerability, the love, the intimacy.
Yeah, you get it all. You just get to live bigger, broader, wider, deeper, grander. You get all of it. And I love it, because the tiniest things can bring you exquisite bliss. Yeah. And when you feel the painful side, you really expand your capacity for empathy with yourself and others. You become a safer person to be with when you can be with your own shit, right? And you're not going to fix or judge or put a happy face on. You can just sit in the fire, I call it. And then when a person senses it's safe to be with you, that's what they're sensing, that you're not going to judge them either. You're not going to fix them either. You'll just say, hey, I hear you. Tell me more. Rather than, oh, it's going to be fine, pushing it away. We don't need to do that to ourselves or others, which creates intimacy. Like my son and I grocery shopping the other day, he said to the gentleman in line doing our checkout, how are you? And he looked at me and he goes, my mom just died. And I said, oh, tell me more. And he did. And we walked out and my son said, Mom, why does that always happen to you? People tell you everything. And I said, because I listen, I care, and I don't judge. He goes, how do they know? I said, well, our intuition is a lot stronger than we give it credit. And in fact, like only, what do they say? 7% of our communication is verbal. Like who we're being speaks volumes, speaks volumes to dating, speaks volumes to clients that might want to work with you, speaks volumes to your kids paying attention or not, like your whole world.
Exactly.
When you're willing to do this deeper inner work, intimacy, vulnerability, love, you become a real blessing to the planet just by being. Yeah.
And isn't it important? I think it is important for us to love our life. There are so many people out there who haven't done the work yet, or who are on the path thinking that somebody else's modality can heal us, when actually even working with somebody works as long as we do the work that we're supposed to do. It's an interaction with ourselves. It's not nobody else can step in internally and reprogram us like a computer. We've got to do it. It's not out there, it's in here.
It's so funny you say this, Mia, because I think I would be a lot richer if I would just be a psychic and just tell people what to do. I'm like, wait a minute, you should do this, you should do. But that, I don't want to give people a fish. I want to teach them to fish. I want to empower people. I'm not some guru, right? So it's not as maybe easy for marketing for us to say, yeah, you need to do the work. Sorry, no quick fix here, no pill. All I can tell you though, is that when you surrender, that this isn't about looking good and doing it right, this thing called life. I think it's about experiencing. And when you let go of needing to get somewhere in order to, and you sink more into savoring, growing, evolving, and you never get there, and you value your mastery as much as you value your, your student, right? Your eternal student, then every moment becomes richer. And you tend to attract more money because you're not wanting it so much that you push it away, or you tend to attract more love because you don't want it so much you're pushing it away. So you end up having this fuller, abundant, more loving, luscious life. Everything becomes, you can become grateful for the pain and the challenges, for who they've evolved you into, just as you can be grateful for the accomplishments and the achievements that you could be proud of and share with others. There isn't really a day where you don't be grateful for something.
Right.
And I've been told, and you have this very same energy, like I radiate. I'm radiant, or I glow. There's something about your energy. And I'm like, it's all the inner work. It's all the inner work. Because now as a vessel, that's what I say to the universe, like, use me to fill me up. I'll do my work. I'll have my fetal position tears. I'll have a big launch and succeed. Like, I'll have the whole thing, and I'm here to give. And that's what is our birthright in each of our own uniqueness.
You brought up something that I'd like to touch on that's very, I've been just overflowing it to people lately and trying to let them understand gratitude, or this gratefulness, celebrating life, celebrating the curiosity, celebrating our clients even. It brings us so much because we're out of that fear. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that, because my name of my company is Celebrate the Process, not Celebrate the Goals. Because I was very like, once I do this, then I'm good enough. And of course that's bullshit, right? So celebrating the process and being grateful for it all. I used to only be grateful for the good stuff. I didn't know how to be grateful for the challenges. And when some of my teachers talk about every moment is actually equal support and challenge, equal pain and pleasure. Suffering comes when we clamor for the pleasure and push away the pain. But if you can just be open, as we were saying, like vulnerable, heart open to it all, even the fears are somehow delicious. Even the challenges are somehow delicious. Everything has light behind it, has it's for you, not against you behind it. If you can have this new point of view where you choose, and the universe says, and so it is, and in it comes, but it doesn't always come in like this pretty package, like, I choose love. Well, everything not love is going to arise to shift so that you can have love. I choose more success. Well, you're going to see everywhere you're failing or things aren't working well, so you can shift and grow. So careful what you ask for. And when you see the challenge, obstacle, failure, mistake in your face, the intimate work that I do is, if we have like little you inside our heart, the minute that arises, do we say, oh, stupid girl, hit her with a 2x4, shove her in the closet? It's not going to go so well if we choose that. And if instead we have this opposite approach of, hey, you have every right to be sad. You have every right to be scared. You have every right to be ashamed. I got you. Tell me more. Like a curiosity with self, until that aspect goes, oh, you're not going to reject me. I'll come home. And then we have the experience of wholeness and embodiment, and no need to justify our worth or make excuses or try to shine people on, or to say, yeah, I know that. No, I don't know that. I'll get back to you. Like, we just have freedom.
I love this. Yeah.
With all of it. And to me, I love to live this way. Because it was so different than how I used to live, where I just fundamentally thought I was not good enough and I had to be somebody I wasn't in order to get love and keep love. And that's a scary, empty world.
Everyone is at that place because we're not taught to love. We have to reteach ourselves. And in this generation that we're in now, this time and space is perfect because love, the expansion is so grand that we are teaching our children now. We are doing things that our beautiful parents, bless their hearts, never did with us. And that's the space that we, people like you and I, manifestors, creators, and whoosh, we want everybody to come with us. We want everybody to feel this because, one, it's attainable, isn't it? And two, it's their divine right. You know, however somebody wants to think of it like that. It's absolutely who we are. So if we are born loved, right, but not taught love, it's who we are already.
It's coming home.
Yes, exactly. When you were doing this, I was like, I was like, you're in their center, baby, because it is coming home.
Yeah. And it's been worth it. Every difficult time has been worth it. Every divorce, custody battle, running out of money, going into legal debt, all the places I've been through. Thank you, universe, because everyone I chose to lean in and honor and learn and grow, and they've all brought me more and more home.
That's what I want everybody to hear you say, because those of us who have experienced that, you push the envelope further and further, that discomfort, knowing it's almost like a knowing. So you begin to trust your experience by practice. You know, if you surrender into it, into the gentleness, it's going to transpire. It may take a month longer, but it's going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And then the riches are on the other side, right?
Totally. I've gone from, like, there were horrible times during the custody battle and out of money. I'm like, no, we can't go anywhere this weekend. I don't have money for gas, but we can walk to the park. Like, you know, we're not going shopping. We'll figure something out from the cupboard to make for dinner. Like, really scary times when there's negative money in your bank account. And you're like, the lightning didn't strike. I thought when you have negative in the bank account, lightning and you're dead or something. All the way to really very successful in my business right now. I get to work with who I want to work with. And I've never been so blessed in my life. So yes, but here's the key. Did I hate myself then and love myself now? Or was able to use that whole practice where I still felt loved, still felt enough, still felt held? Oh, and Muffin always needs, as soon as I'm talking for any length of time, she has to come and say hi. So,
what a sweetheart.
Let her walk through. The practice was, in the past, I didn't love myself. I thought, you're out of money, you're a loser. You lost the custody battle, you're a loser. People don't believe you. And so this became the gift. Such and such happened, and I love and accept myself. This is the bank account, and I love and accept myself. And that alchemy changed the reality to, wait a minute, she loves and accepts herself. Money wants to play with that vibration. Clients want to play with someone who's not a victim and is humble but confident. So clients want to work with you. And same with the quality of men. You know, if you're a victim, you only attract men that want to save you. Later they want to dominate you, and etc. But when
Or
you
leave
are,
you, on the side
or
of the
leave you,
road.
sure,
Yeah.
all of the above, check the boxes. Yeah,
Exactly.
the quality of men show up, the quality of friendships, everything, the quality of my body's health. Like actually turned 50. What is today? In 2 days I turned 50. I don't think I look 50. I mean, not that I really care, but like the vitality, the youthfulness, the vibration, all of this is the result of doing the work. So please do, please do the inner work. Savor the inner work. Savor the
Just
process.
just what you said about the inner work and the vitality, that is one aspect that now I'm talking to people about, because they don't understand. I'm 56 years old, and most people say, you don't look 56, you
No, you
never
don't
have,
look 50.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so it's like, it's and the glow you were talking about, it's because we do the work. Doesn't make us any special or different. We're exactly like everyone else. We're exactly like you out there. We're exactly like you, and that's why we're here. And this is why the I just love this work. I mean, it's our life, it's your life, it's my life. It's just incredible, because we now feel,
Mm,
instead of the pain, we feel the greatness, right?
mm,
Pain is gone and the greatness is there. We've all experienced the same things. None of us are different than the other. We all think that we're alone. We all think we're unloved. We all think that we're not, until we shift that conversation. What
mm,
you've said is incredibly beautiful. Thank you.
Thank
I love
you.
it. Yeah.
And just to add to that, everything you said, yes, and um, I choose to keep evolving. I choose to keep growing. I choose to keep taking risks. So even though maybe I got over the insecurity about such and such, now I'm going to do this. And I'm like, ooh, I'm scared. But I have the practices to come back from that scared place
Yeah.
so much faster, with so much more ease and grace, that things that go wrong might blip me for a second. Then I'll use some humor. Then I'll ask, well, how is this for me? And then I'll have that bird's eye point of view. I'll get through things so much faster. It doesn't mean I'm afraid. Doesn't mean I'm never hurt. Doesn't mean I never go unconscious. It just means I can come back more quickly. And the I can't remember his name, but who discovered or created Aikido, Ushida Mori, I can't remember his name. But anyways, when he was interviewed, when they asked him, how is he the best at Aikido? Because he wasn't the biggest. He was like this little guy. And these huge people would come in and then they'd be on the floor. And he goes, I come back to center faster. That's all it is. It's not that it goes off center. He comes back faster than anyone
Right.
else.
Right.
So that's really, it's not about perfection. It's not about never feeling pain again. It's about, and this too is for me. And we come back. And that means you're never in resistance. You're always in allowance, which means you can co-create with the universe so much more elegantly, and then be humbled by the grandeur that arrives on your lap, because you're willing to receive it. It's pretty magical living.
It is. And it's about the practice. That's what gets you to that space, right?
Yeah, you
That's
never
what,
stop practicing. Yeah.
that's right. Everybody, you never stop practicing. Did you hear that? I mean, it's the truth. And that's, people think that if they give it, a month, 2 months, that they're going to be set for life. No, this is our journey. This is our great,
I think
our
I'll brush
great
my teeth.
adventure.
I'll brush my teeth once or twice. It should be good for the rest of my life.
Right,
No, I
exactly.
would actually brush them again. It's like the same
Right.
thing. But if you can start to see the practice as I get to, not I have to. And if you can start to, once you're in your body more, there's an actual deliciousness to that energy and that flow and that co-creation. You begin to, maybe it sounds a little out there, but you begin to feel the universe wanting to have its way with you. You begin to feel the breath, like birthing a star, breathing you.
Yep.
You begin to literally feel this energy, and you can be so connected and one and grateful. And sure, I have moments of this heightened experience and other moments where I'm just like, did you really just cut me off and try, did you really, like, I have my moments, right? But in general, more and more, this smallest kiss on your cheek can just send you into this place, or a chocolate can send you into this place, or a sunrise, right?
Right.
And it makes life rich, so that we end the behavior of like, when I find the one, I'll be enough. In fact, my latest book is called Finding the One is Bullshit. And becoming the one is brilliant and beautiful. And ironically, the key, of course, right? To attracting your ideal partner, your ideal where you want to live, like your beautiful house in Washington you were speaking of, or your ideal clients. or your ideal next title for your book. All of this is in the ethers, ready to
It's
come
our
through.
creation, isn't it? Whatever we
Totally.
want, whatever we
Yeah.
want.
And there's no worrying about competition because there's only one of you, always has been, like there will never be another one ever. So there's no
And
need
why
to
not
ever
choose?
compete.
And why not choose what you want? That's how we ended up here.
Yes.
Literally, I was like, I could live anywhere in the world I want to live. Then I realized I wanted to live in the United States instead of outside.
Oh,
And
where are you, a Canadian too?
no, I'm sixth generation LA. So to leave,
Oh, Los
but
Angeles. Oh, I
we
see.
were early Spanish land grant people in
Got
LA.
it.
So we formed the town of Van Nuys. And so to
Oh,
leave something that big,
yeah.
like one of the boroughs in New York or something, to leave something
Yeah.
that big was just unthinkable until September, when I said, wow, I could create whatever. And that concept has blown people away, that I left where I was, got a big, gorgeous house. You know what I mean? It's not about the house, it's not about this. It's about my peace and serenity, and that I created this. And
Yeah, and you're not your identity, even though you came from your
exactly.
however many generations. That
Yeah.
you're a soul. You're not an identity. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
It
That's
just
freedom.
is beautiful. Yes, it is. And each person, you can create everything about you with the freedom and flow that Allana was talking about,
Mm.
when you can believe it too. So
Yeah. And
beautiful.
one last thing there, like maybe people didn't agree with you, and that's okay. And when we are our true self, some people will just think you're the devil. And other people will think you're like a guru. And like they sort of cancel each other out. You don't really listen to either of them. They
Right.
just, go down the center path. You just do what you're here to do. And if you have this intimate relationship with yourself that's no longer seeking approval or safety from the
Exactly.
outside, you can actually go, okay, super great. You hate
Yeah.
me. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, super great. You think I'm a goddess. Super great. Thanks. It's all
Right.
just an opinion.
Right.
We live for our truth as a
Mhm.
contribution to humanity. We don't live to get it right, look good, get approval.
Exactly.
We don't do that. That old model is
Mhm.
over. It's
Well,
the model of suffering.
even if we were doing something to get it right, here's an example. As we age, most people are like, "Whoa, I can't handle the aging process." And I keep telling my husband, "Sweetheart, just embrace it. You're handsome, you're gorgeous, I love you. Deal with the inner stuff."
Mm.
I think that being 56 is fabulous. I can't wait to see what I look like at 66, or am, or feel, or move, or you know what I mean? It's about where you are in that moment. And just because, like, I was sharing about moving here, that was my thing. People, you can create everything. So share
Mm.
with us that amazing free gift. It has the word sexy in it.
Oh, sexy and vulnerable, all in the same title. So yeah, vulnerability is the new sexy. I
Mm,
really believe
love that.
for the conscious couple, the conscious people, that we need a new definition of what sexy is. It's not the push-up bra, although I love lingerie. It's really about your heart, and your heart being open, and you being connected to the divine and to your highest self. And so vulnerability is the new sexy, is the gift. And it's a 7-part complimentary training, and she'll give you the link for that. And really it'll start to shift your point of view and give you these practical tools to start to be in the world more vulnerably, going, hey, I actually feel safer than I ever had, more empowered than I ever had. It'll teach you how to navigate those intense emotions, which will happen when you're more present, out of control, and vulnerable in the moment. But that means you get to be a wielder of even more creative energy, and you'll get there. And it's my pleasure to show you what's worked for me and what's worked for my clients. So thank
That's
you.
lovely. Thank you. Now, before we say goodbye, will you share with us what's on your heart right now?
Oh, this is another hour, but we don't have it. So, okay, one thing on my heart right now. So at the time of this recording, I don't know where I'm going to live next week.
Wow.
And I put all my things into a pod because my son, in order to stop the hell with the custody battle, he's like, Mom, let me protect you. Let me 100% live with Dad. Take the high road, please. Don't be on the emails. Just let me do this. I know what I'm doing. So as a mother, we will sacrifice anything for the safety of our children, right?
Yeah.
So I put my things into a pod, and I just sort of hovered. I went over about an hour this way, watched for a year. I went an hour this way, watched for a year, and he's doing really, really well. But it's like, I'm at this place now where should this next place be? Should I go a little farther? Is he okay? Should I stay around? It's this, and I just turned, like 2 days, I'll turn 50. So I'm in, what's on my heart right now is, will I really walk my talk, that I put out my choice, and the universe will provide. And, you know, different opportunities are arising. But I really choose kind of like where you are, this nourishing place in nature from which to create from. So, so I don't have it all together, and I'm creating a magnificent year. And what's on my heart is to receive my next sanctuary
It's
and to trust
beautiful.
and to keep walking. Yeah.
I know you're going to do magnificently well simply because it flows through you so beautifully. That's so
Oh,
exciting. Thank you for sharing that with us. That was really lovely.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for this opportunity to connect so deeply right out of the gate with somebody who gets it, walks their talk. And yeah, thank you.
It's
What a
beautiful.
blessing.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you all for joining us. And we'll see you in another episode of Make Love Real.